Chapter 10. Reuniting. In England, Siletti walked out onto the streets of London, trying to see if he could spot anything of Smithworks. Suddenly he heard a voice. A beautiful voice. He wasn't quite sure where it was coming from, or who it was. Others walking by heard the song as well, but weren't quite sure why it was playing. "What's that music?" Siletti said, stopping an older man.
"I don't know. When you've lived here as long as I have, and heard four guys do a concert on rooftops, you just learn to accept it."
The man then walked off. Siletti followed the voice as best he could. Sure enough, the voice was coming from up above. He found the building where the song was being performed. He rushed inside, flashed his MI6 badge, and darted up a bunch of stairwells. Reaching the top and bursting open the roof access door, he found the source. At the edge of the roof stood a microphone with Sandra behind it. Why am I not surprised? Leave it to a Smithworks to lure someone with a public performance. Mocking, of course, one of the most popular ones done by the Beatles. "You may not be surprised, but I am. I was expecting your partner." "Yeah, well, sorry to disappoint. Look, Sandra, I'm not going to try this the way Bond would, but you can walk away from all this. Don't you see that your husband is crazy? Don't you see that this vendetta of his is ridiculous? I know he roped you into this because of a loss you had. One of Bond's previous foes." "How do you know that?" Sandra snapped. "I'm a spy. I have my ways," Siletti answered, raising his watch. He then extended his hand. Sandra started to walk towards him, with her hand extending. The moment she took his hand, Sandra twisted Siletti's wrist. This caused the spy to sink to his knees. Sandra started to run off. Siletti reached into a jacket pocket. He pulled out his Walther and fired. One bullet hit her shoulder, and another hit the heel of a shoe Sandra was wearing. "Maybe I shot the devil off your shoulder. Consider yourself grounded." Sandra was gripping her shoulder. "Siletti to Bond. He's all yours. Cheryl, Amanda, let's regroup. In New York." Once Siletti had finished his message, he looked and saw that Sandra was gone. Just off of New York City stood Liberty Island. The island was home to a symbol of America, the Statue of Liberty. Walking amongst the crowd, Bond looked cautiously around everyone. From the transmissions he had received from everyone else, Smithworks had to be here. Bond was approaching the base of the statue until Smithworks appeared. He was wearing the jacket he stole from Siletti. "Come to see the show, Bond?" "I've seen my fair share. Plus, the tickets were out of my price range." "Oh, but you have a backstage pass." A workman wearing a Statue of Liberty uniform put a gun to Bond's back and pushed him into an elevator. "Well, you're certainly getting to the top of your game, aren't you, Smithworks?" Smithworks was growing tired of Bond's coolness. He pulled out his own gun and pointed it at him. "I'm going to give you one last chance to confess to your crimes. You are nothing but a murderer." "You're wrong, Smithworks. You're the murderer. You are misguided and misinformed. I'm sorry that the ones you call idols are gone, but if they had stayed, you wouldn't have a world to destroy yourself, or a dashing spy to get rid of." Bond knocked the gun out of Smithworks' hand. He kicked the workman to the ground. Bond and Smithworks got into a fight until the elevator stopped. Smithworks burst out and headed to a set of stairs. Before he got too far, he shot the elevator, causing it to fall fast and crash at the bottom. "I've done my homework, 007. Remind you of Paris, does this? Come on, old man." Smithworks continued up the stairs with Bond trailing behind. Back below, Siletti reunited with Cheryl and Amanda. "Where's Bond?" Cheryl asked. "Yeah, Daniel, don't you know?" Amanda questioned. "I am not my partner's keeper. That being said," Siletti pulled out a pair of sunglasses from another pocket and put them on. The lenses were intact with magnifiers. "I don't remember Q giving you those," Cheryl asked. "You were brought along to observe. If you are observing theft, you're welcome to tell. But if you're observing borrowing or an extended loan, I'd appreciate it." Back in the statue, Smithworks continued to tantalize his foe. "Wonderful view, don't you think, 007? That is, to a kill." Crowds started to get restless about entering the base of the statue. "Folks, please, we believe there's a situation inside, and we cannot afford any of you to get hurt." Amanda then stepped over to the worker and flashed her Secret Service badge.
Thank you, sir. I'll take it over. Everyone, this is an international problem that both the American and British Secret Service are working on together. We require your patience and understanding during this time. Thank you.
Amanda was getting nervous and looked over to Cheryl and 00 Siletti.
Well, I don't know how much longer Amanda can stall.
Just a little closer. 00 Siletti then got as close as he could. He zoomed in enough and saw two figures go by the windows in the Lady Liberty's crown.